Hello and welcome to the Runna Podcast. Today's episode is with a guest who is living proof that you don't have to choose between PBs and pints. Alex Hendy, known to 500,000 as Schooner Scorer, has an incredible community encouraging people to have balance in every part of their life. We are Schooner, sub-3 hour marathon runner and professional beer drinker, fresh off his PB at Chicago Marathon. Can you really do both? Welcome to the Runna Podcast, Alex Hendy, Schooner Scorer. Schooner Scorer, how are we?
Good morning. Very good. A little bit ropey.
Day after Chicago Marathon, which we'll get into. How are you feeling?
I always feel a bit flat after a marathon. I don't know if that's like a million beers afterwards or just the day after. It's like I'm tired, I'm flat, hungover. But it was a PB, so I'm happy.
Yeah. Well, stop. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
Sorry.
We will start at the beginning and work our way back up to the legendary day that was yesterday.
Yeah.
How did you first get into running?
It's a very good question. I actually know this because my dad often reminds me. But apparently he bought me a pair of running shoes when I was about 4 years old, just to potter around the house with, I imagine. And I ran to what we call the train track and back, which is about 5k for a 4-year-old. And he always said, like, I just knew you were going to be a runner. Well, and then you can imagine his disappointment that I just drink beers on pavements now. But I was really into running as a kid. And yeah, it was a love for it all. I remember the first time I went to an athletics track and it was just running around it. And the first time I wore spikes and felt the sponge and the push of it all, I was just obsessed, really.
I reckon people don't know that about you, that you really were like a very, very keen runner.
Yeah, and it wasn't that cool when I was growing up. Like running is almost like a fashion now. It's, you know, even 5 years ago when I went to a park run in Clapham, that's probably 200 people, everybody wearing, you know, T90, you know, AstroTurfs to run in and some, you know, old school PE kit. And now you turn up, there's 1,200 people and people are there in, you know, UVU, all the top brands, Alpha Flies, just for a park run. It really is sort of the sort of sport of running, just seeing how it's taken off is incredible. But yeah, growing up, used to run all the time, used to love the school cross countries, and yeah.
It wasn't like football, rugby, because they were the cooler sports in my school anyway.
It was as well. They'd never really crossed. So I played football every Saturday, and then in the rugby season at school, played rugby. But cross country always seemed to be a different day. It used to be like football or rugby on the Saturday, and then cross country on a Sunday. And
were you good at cross country, at running, or did you just enjoy it?
I don't think I ever like fully enjoyed cross country. I remember like the kind of, you almost get that blood taste in your mouth, and it was tough. Cross country was tough, but I just, you know, I was quite fit. I think I was a good footballer or an effective football player on the pitch because I was good at running, and I would be the hardest working person on the pitch. And then I used to like how fit the running would get me and the cross country would get me. So yeah, and then when athletics came along, I really enjoyed that, and you know, that was good at school, and sports day was like the best day. It was Christmas.
So even back then, you did really enjoy putting the effort in.
Yes, it's not in the way that now, like when I ran my first marathon, I had no idea about carbon shoes or gels or, you know, the fact that you needed to follow a training plan. I would just run, and then do the odd track session. But there is a big gap. So I stopped running probably at about 15.
Okay.
And then I picked it back up again in COVID.
Yeah.
The gyms closed, whatever else. And then I was like, okay. And I started running again and remembered how much I loved it and enjoyed it. And then I did my first park run and I was like, okay, this is fun.
Why did you stop at 15?
Priorities. I think I just, I was going to the gym every day instead. You know, I wanted to be like bigger, you know, big and muscly and go to the gym and aesthetically looked better. And I just, stopped running. And I was really like unfit. Like that's what I realized when I look back is I went to gym every day and I thought I was fit and healthy, but I wouldn't have been able to run 5K. No way. Yeah. So and I wasn't playing football at the time as well. It was like literally no cardio. And then COVID hit. It was a combination actually. I was in a car crash which just hurt my shoulder, my right shoulder.
I didn't know that.
And that I had to do a lot of like reformer Pilates and stuff like that, and I couldn't really lift weights anymore. So I just started like running because I've always wanted to exercise daily or every other day.
So you were ahead of the curve on reformer Pilates too?
Well, no, it wasn't reformer Pilates at the time. I think it was just stretching. I just sort of, I've never actually been to a reformer Pilates class in my life.
And was it humbling then in COVID when you picked up running again?
Everyone was doing that. Nominate 5 friends, run 5K, and donate however much money to the NHS. And I think that was the first time I'd ran a 5K and thought, I'm going to have to post my time. And I'm a competitive person. So I remember thinking, God, what is a good time? I had no idea. And I think I ran like a 21-minute 5K. And I was seeing like people of like friends of friends running much quicker. And I was like, oh God, I thought I was a quick runner. And then I started running again and then got back into it, I think, from there.
Did you have the Schooner Scorer profile then? Was that you were nervous about people?
No, just on my private Insta.
When did that come about?
So in June 2022, I started it as a bit of a private Instagram account for friends. I saw Dave Portnoy, who does One Take Pizza reviews. He's massive in the US here. And I remember just watching him and just looking at all the people around him, just in absolute awe of his one take review of a pizza. And I went and spoke to him at the end, and I talked to him about some pubs he should go to. And I walked away and I thought I might just start doing that for beers. And literally the next day I met a good friend of mine, Franny, and we just sat on the balcony at Punch and Judy, and I was telling him this idea. I was like, I'm gonna score beers. And he was like, he's just such a good mate. He was just like, 100%, we've got to do this. We've got to do this now. We literally went around the entirety of Soho just necking beers and doing reviews. And then from there, really, I kind of wanted to do it. And it was, I wanted to be an actor as well, always growing up. It was like sport and acting and business. But I've kind of never really scratched that acting itch. And I found that this was doing that. So it was just something I did as a private Instagram account. I'd post maybe once a month, once every 6 weeks. And then at the start of last year, I just remember, you have university. I did a graduate program, led on to like a future leaders program. And then it was kind of, then I did 2 years of my first sort of job off that. And it was kind of like, okay, what's next? And I remember just sitting and thinking, what is next for me within this job, within this industry? And then I just thought, you know what, I might just give this Schooner thing a go for 1 year, properly go for it. Yeah. And if it doesn't work out, I'm just going to stop it and stop saying to people that I'm doing it. So I was doing it for a year and a half and saying to people I was doing it. And people go, oh my God, let's see it. And it'd have like 80 followers. Yeah. So I thought, right, I'll do it really hard for a year. And then that was last year, and it started to fortunately take off. And then
because not to like boost your ego, but I've always said, I was like, you are really clever. Like, that wasn't a mistake that you accidentally fell into, just like drinking beer. I've always thought that there must be so much harder work behind the scenes than people realize. And it sounds like you actually did really think about it and have a strategy. Yeah,
for sure. Like the alliteration at the start, the just understanding people's, just all of us really have a lower and lower attention span. So just how do I make it just escape and chaos? And also I looked at other people that were doing just general beer reviews, and it was very still and long and just industry jargon that nobody cares about. So I was like, okay, how can we get as much people involved as possible in each review? How can we make it really engaging? How can we make it highly energetic? For people that don't drink, they just want that escapism. So when I like dial in and do the reviews, I do sort of, there is thought behind it and method to the madness and everything else. Yeah.
And all the while when you were posting these videos, were you still running?
Yes, I'd say more so than ever. Because I often find that when I run, it's like paying the deposits to then enjoy myself, whether that's a few pints or a big fatty meal. I feel like I can't just do one or the other. So running is, it pays the deposits to then enjoy myself in that evening or on the weekend or whatever. And also when I wake up and I've been drinking from the night before, maybe there's that sense of, oh, I drank a little bit too much last night. I feel a bit guilty.
Yeah.
What am I going to do to get rid of this head noise? I'm going to go for a run and then I'm going to feel better about myself and the endorphins are going to kick in.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like I drink because I run and I run because I drink.
Yeah.
For me, it's always been a great balance of not just with running, with any sport or anything you work hard at. It's kind of like I've worked hard or I've played well in this football match or this rugby game.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to reward myself with beers and be social.
Yeah.
And then the next day I might feel a bit crappy. So I'll go for a run and again, clear the head and feel better about myself. So yeah, so I've always had that kind of balance and believe that balance is necessary.
Is it hard to balance the two?
Yeah, of course. I mean, a lot of people go, how the hell did you run that after last night or whatever? But for me, it's kind of, it makes me feel better mentally. And I've always focused on mental health has been a direct positive correlation to my physical health.
Yeah.
When I'm feeling healthy and I'm fit, I will mentally feel better.
Yeah.
So I've always focused on physical health.
Yeah.
And when I sort of run and getting fit is always sort of helped that. And of course it's hard, but you just, I don't know, you create that kind of culture within your friendship group that it's just the norm.
Yeah.
We all go out and we're going to get up on the Saturday and, do the 5K, or we're going to go out for beers on a Wednesday with work. And then we're all going to go on a work lunch run on the Thursday. It's just like the culture that we've had. And I guess being in, I'm on a 1-year sabbatical at the moment, but working within a trading commodities organization, it is quite normal to like see people and be in environments where people do drink all the time. And these people are fit as well.
Yeah.
There's no real excuse for that to be negative to running.
I do think there's because you were in a good high performing job and then you also were running, also creating these videos. It's like this high performing, high achieving kind of lifestyle. I think it's the people that can do it all. The really busy people have really great jobs and also can drink and also stay fit. And they're the people you look at like, how do they do it all?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you've got to keep pushing yourself and surrounding yourself by the right kind of people. You become a product of your 5 best friends. Yeah. I'd say that I surround myself and choose my circles wisely and push to be more like or in the right kind of person. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you mentioned running helping your mental health, which is super important. Do you think there's a part that running helps your creativity for your Schooner Scorer videos?
1,000,000%. Yeah. A lot of my ideas come from a second before I'm about to fall asleep and then I wake up and have to write it down, or when I'm running.
Yeah.
Because I'm running a lot on my own, especially when you're training for a marathon, you got a lot of long runs. And the reality is it's hard to find someone with the same schedule that's trying to get the same time.
Yeah.
So I do find myself running on my own a lot.
Yeah.
And that gives me that kind of headspace where I'm not looking at my phone, I'm not watching something or reading. So it's just me and my mind. So it does give me that creative space.
Do you enjoy running alone?
No.
Okay.
I genuinely don't enjoy long runs.
Okay.
I genuinely, before the marathon, my longest run was 29K.
Okay.
I just get bored.
Yeah. I wondered if
I know that's not probably good for this podcast.
No. I think it's good because you can run with other people, and that's kind of what you've done. You've subconsciously created this community of people that do you, because you've got the same audience, a lot of people that run, a lot of people that just like you for being funny and those light-hearted videos. Yeah. But you have created a running community as well.
Yes. I mean, well, I've set up Schooner Social, which is a drinking club with a fitness problem. To sort of, there's a lot of people that are fitness clubs with drinking, whatever the other one is. So like we are a community that enjoy a drink.
Yeah.
But we focus in and we do our fitness stuff as well. So I've done various, running meetups and high rocks meetups, just to kind of, do that balance and showcase that balance.
And is there, the reason I asked you that question, whether you actually enjoyed running by yourself, I wondered how much of the Schooner Scorer personality is a character and whether you need that space by yourself for running to take a step back, or whether it really is like you.
I'd say Schooner is, I have commercialized my life. I've made my life obviously when I dial in, I do a 60-second review and I'm very high energy.
Yeah.
It's a heightened version of myself and it's leaning into that character. And, similar if I was to arrive at a pub with 4 blonde women, it's leaning into the character and what people start to pick up on and comment on. You just lean into it. Whether people love it or hate it, it doesn't matter. It's just a character that is built up and it creates a form of entertainment or escapism. Yeah. I'd say, but it is me. It is literally my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
It can't not be. I post every day, twice a day sometimes. It's constantly on. So, but I do have the ability, I guess, to just switch off and, relax. Which is easier said than done, given the fact I like to switch off at the pub and then I can't often do that because someone hands me a beer and asks me to kindly review it. So I'll do it more. But
it is, you are sharing your real life, and I think that's why I was obviously biased because I like running. But I like seeing that you're running interspersed with all the Schooner Scorer stuff. How do your audience appreciate the running?
I think they do. I think I try and literally within the marathon yesterday, I think if I didn't have this audience, I probably would have stayed with you, which we'll talk about anyway in a moment. But it gave me that extra, having the audience understanding that people will watch it and hopefully it inspires people to just, I remember I was organising a pub night out, this is a few years ago, and mate goes, no, I've got this half marathon in a couple of weeks, so I can't come out. And I just remember thinking, what? I don't understand that. You've got a half marathon in 2 weeks and you can't come to the pub tonight. So we all went out and I said, right, if you come out, I'll do a half marathon tomorrow. He's like, no, I'll come for a couple. So he came for a couple. I remember being so wound up about it. I went out on a night out and I woke up the next morning. I went to Regent's Park and I just ran a half marathon because I was like, mate, it was the first time I'd heard somebody say that they're not going to do something. So yes, the inspiration or influence I'd, like to think that the Schooner Scorer page gives is you can do both. I do them both at extremes. I was out in New York with those inspired unemployed guys. We were out till, God knows, it was 4 a.m., which is 1 p.m. Copenhagen time. I then flew straight to Copenhagen on the red eye, had like 4 hours sleep, got up and ran a 1:20 half. That's an extreme example, but I do want to show that it can be done. It doesn't have to, just because you're drinking or having fun doesn't mean you need to feel so guilty and that you can't train. It's like you can live. You've only got one life, so just do what you want. You don't need to make stupid sacrifices or go on crazy diets. I'm not saying that it's like I'm at the fastest I can possibly go because of this lifestyle. I'm sure if I dialed in on a couple of like harder training sessions, which I've had to take easy because I've not been 100%, maybe I could go a bit quicker. But there comes a point where it's just a lifestyle which I try and share. And I've done the last 4 marathons have all been about the same time. 2:58, 2:57, 2:56, 2:52. Or 2:51, 57. But yeah, because it's not really like I'm in some mad training block. I use Runna 365 days of the year because it just keeps me fit. Because at the start of whatever year, 2022, 2023, I remember thinking I always want to just live a lifestyle that any given notice I can have, or within 2 weeks notice, I can run a Sub-3 marathon. And that's it. And that's just how I want to, it's that habitual get up and run or get up and train.
Yeah.
And as long as I keep doing that, mentally, I've never been happier because I don't feel that guilt around or even think about what I'm eating or drinking because I know that I'm running it off or I'm fit.
Yeah. And they're really impressive times. And maybe that's why some people like your running content so much, because so much running content is so dialed in and so like, oh, you've got to be this like determined, you've got to do this training. And you're just like, it's not that deep and it is just a bit of a glorified hobby and we're all just having fun, and you really show that.
Yeah, I mean, I genuinely don't see or feel the need to make like some of the sacrifices I see. We're not, unless you're an athlete, you know, unless you're running the kind of times you're running, or you know, I see online, you know, the guys whoever run the 202, what was it? Or 206 you've just had. Fine, you completely you've got to make those sacrifices. But unless you're running for a guy sub 230, I don't think you need to be making massive sacrifices. You know, I just don't. But
saying that, how do you train for a sub 3 hour marathon? Because that is a really impressive time.
Thank you. I have one session where I use Runner apps. But it tells me to do.
Yeah, no, of course. But you must actually put in a lot of work.
But generally speaking, putting in like 50 kilometers a week or plus. I know people that put on like loads of kilometers a week. So, and finding the time is, you know, are you running to the office, running at lunch, running back? I used to do that. I tend to run to meetings or just because finding the time is the hard bit to run 60 kilometers a week. I mean, some people run 150 kilometers a week.
Yeah.
Like that are running, you know, these guys that run sub 230s.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, just having a longish run a week and then dialing in maybe once or twice on like pushing yourself a bit.
Do you still enjoy running competitive times? Because you could just give it all up and just drink.
I could, but I wouldn't. I wouldn't push. Like yesterday was like, it was a good pain cave, you know.
And you get satisfaction from that.
I think it's good to push myself, and I get satisfaction from bettering myself. So it's like I hit a PB, great. Like I've now got that PB.
Yeah.
I was still happy with my Copenhagen. It was technically not a PB. I know that Runner said it was. It was 20 seconds behind my PB.
Okay.
But I had not slept and just got off the flight. So, and it was, the rain actually didn't bother me. That was the least of my worries. Everyone was complaining about the weather. I thought it's the least of my concerns right now. I get satisfaction from pushing myself to the limit.
Yeah.
You know, I used to say, it sounds like I'm doing a park run commercial, but I used to start on even whatever I'd done on the Thursday and Friday night, I would turn up and do that park run on Saturday morning because it was the best way to start my weekend, because it was just getting the heart rate high and pushing myself. And I just felt, because I'd done that and pushed myself and, you know, given myself that little bit of pain and just focused on the body and the fitness, I could then enjoy whatever the day was, which was growing up, being in your mid-20s, late 20s in London, or early 20s as well, did involve drinking.
Yeah.
It always has. It's just like, you know, being in a city, I guess.
Yeah. And how was yesterday? How was Chicago Marathon?
Well, it was good. Thank you very much for the pacing.
Schooner.
And you paced for the first 33 kilometers. So we'll have to, this is being recorded. We can show the video of what my view was, which was just Anya's back for 32 kilometers. And when everyone was trying to get in, I was like, Anya, come on to the left. Come on to the left. It was a famous slipstream with
me and Mary McCarthy.
Yeah, me and Mary at the back. It was it was amazing. And then you kept sort of pushing it. And I said, Anya, slow down a little bit. But I would not have been able to keep pushing, I don't think, without it. But that's the first time I've been paced.
Thank you.
And then when you left me at 33, I thought you've done me here. You've done me dirty.
No, you just dropped me. You outran me.
I thought you were saying, let's push it, let's go quicker. I said, I'm at my max. If we push quicker, I'm done. And then because you left, I was like, oh my God, I'm on my own now. And it was only 10, 11, well, I don't know how much was left. What was it, about 32?
Yeah, 32.
Yeah, so 10 or so kilometers left. I thought, okay, I can hang on. And then Mary sort of goes in front and she's like, come on. I was like, and then she just starts going, I look at my watch and she was running 3:46. I was like, there's no way I'm going to keep up 3:46 kilometer splits. But my watch was all over the place the whole time.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what pace we were going. At the start, I was like, why are we running 5:30?
Yeah.
And then I realized the watch was just way off. So I mean, did I enjoy it? I enjoyed the first half because I'm just conserving energy. But in my head, it was always that niggle of you've not ran over 30 kilometers in any training session. Although Runna app advised me to, it was like just time or just lack of energy. I just didn't do it. So I was thinking I really need to be semi-fresh. And then as soon as it hit half marathon, you were pushing for like 3:55, 3:58 splits. And I just thought, just hang on as long as you can, Sonia. And then when you were like, you've got to go, I was like, oh crap. So then I was like, I kept pushing. And then the last 4 or 5K, I was hanging on. I mean, my eyes are closed at this point. It's just pain cave.
You did an incredible job. You went into that race wanting a PB, like believing you could get a PB.
Yeah.
Was your mindset like in the training different for this marathon?
No.
Okay.
No. It's, like I say, it's always, there's no real like, well, I'll go home, fly back tomorrow, and it'll be, my lifestyle won't change. It'll be pretty much the same. People like really dial in and they go serious with the diets and the partying or lack of, and then they'll have off season. I just try and keep fairly consistent. It's more so that in this time last year, I ran outside Copenhagen in a place called Odense, and I was going for a 2:45. And I set off at 3:59s and tried to maintain that. And I changed my diet the morning of. I was on the toilet like 4 times. You know, it was a bad day to be a Danish driveway. And I was just like hanging on for dear life for the last 6, 7K. And I had 1K to go and I was like, I can't finish it. Yeah. And I finished it and I ran a PB in 2:57. But it was how not to run a marathon because it was just the worst experience ever. And a lot of it, it was like motorway, like they call it like the fairy tale marathon because it's so pretty. It was motorways like a lot of the way and side street. And there was no shield. There was no pack to run in. And I thought, God, I could have gone a lot quicker had I not done that with my diet and had I it had been a better course, blah, blah, blah. Then Paris comes along in April. And again, I'd been traveling a lot. I had various, fortunate to say this, but I had a ski week, obviously no running there, traveling around Australia. And because I was still working full time, when I traveled Australia, I was going like hell for leather doing reviews. So every day was massive in Australia for 3 weeks. Yeah. And I barely ran. I did the odd one with Ned Brotman and a couple of other Jack Rayner. It's like all these like amazing influential runners. I was like, I'm obviously going to go for a run with them. Yeah. Tommy Trees as well. He's a running coach, isn't he? But I did those runs, but that was about it. And then Paris came and I was like, oh, I'm not that fit. I remember showing Ben Parker my Strava and he's like, that means nothing. It was like down here, the fitness score. And he was like, oh, that doesn't actually mean anything. That means you're fitter because your heart rate's lower.
True.
I was like, oh, okay. But I had the worst cold.
Okay.
Thanks to Josh Patterson, who gave it to me day one.
You're just dropping names everywhere.
I want people to know that Josh Patterson screwed me over in Paris. He's there like sniffling away and I was fine. And then he sort of starts giggling when I'm like going to the pharmacy because he knew he gave me whatever weird cold he had. So Paris, my point is, Odense got it wrong. Diet was awful. Paced myself awfully.
Yeah.
Paris, I just last minute had the worst cold.
Yeah.
This one, not like a perfect training block, obviously, but I didn't feel remotely ill. It was the least shit I've ever felt before a marathon because I've always felt shit before a marathon. I just think it's a thing. You just like your legs, you're tired, you're burning, you're ill, you're probably picked up a knock, and it was like my little niggle was the smallest it's ever been. I wasn't ill. I'd been fairly well behaved the few days before. So like, I just felt like this is probably the best chance I've got at a PB.
Let's go for it.
Yeah.
I think people like your videos because you have this like confidence about yourself, which it's like charming. I don't know.
It's a backhanded compliment.
No.
It's like charming.
Yeah. But like, you need that confidence for running. And I think you
ignorance.
thought you could get a PB yesterday and you did.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you might as well just absolutely believe it. There's no reason for me to deserve that PB in reality.
Well,
I'd not put in that much more training. I was like, if I can predict, and I had a camera guy, Max, to come and try and sort of capture moments, and we're trying to do this YouTube. And I said, if I have to bet money on it, I'll run a 252. I said, best case 249. Otherwise, it's going to be like a 255, 257. Unless I blow up, then I don't know. And I got 251, 57. So I got pretty much bang on what I said. And that was out without looking at the watch. I was just running behind you and then just tried to hang on.
Yeah. You say you don't deserve it though, but like mentally, you've learned more from each marathon you've done because you pace this one differently, right?
Well, technically I didn't negative split, but I've cocked up pacing. Paris was bang on. Okay. My splits, even with the hills, it was like every split was the same. This was kind of, let's take it easy at the start. We were running like 408s the first 10K.
Yeah. And
then we sort of went down to 405s and then we hit like 358s. And I just thought we've gone too early here. But I was able to just hold on to that, which was good because then when I was on my own at the end and just gritting my teeth, and I was saying to the guys, it's like, does anybody else just close their eyes when they run? They were like, no, you've got to see it. I was like, I closed my eyes because I remember reading when the bombings in the tube, all the accounts of the survivors, they said that they could only see in black and white. And it was because their body was in such shock that the body didn't need to see colour because that wasn't what was needed. So they just saw in black and white. And I remember thinking yesterday as I'm running around, if I close my eyes, it's going to conserve energy to focus on what my body needs to, because it doesn't need to see right now. It just needs to run straight. So I was closing my eyes and just running. Yeah. I'd opened one eye and I was just thinking to myself, maybe it'll save energy. I'll just focus on what my body needs to do. Because I was really putting myself in the pain cave.
Yeah. The more I'm talking to you, the more like I'm realizing there are so many similarities between drinking and running. And that's probably why the two work so well together. But do you think some people get these endorphin rushes and need that sense of excitement or whatever, and they get it from the pub? And then other people seem to get it from running. It's both that like the endorphins. Yeah. Do you think that's a thing?
I think it's the just a social element behind both of those. You go to the pub, usually it's socially with your friends. And if it's not, it's clocking off with one mate or on your own, just to kind of reduce that stress, that level of stress. Yeah. So, and the same with running. It's probably being part of a community that also runs. Even if you're running on your own, you're looking at your Stravas and people are giving you kudos. You're uploading it. You're part of a community that is just running. Yeah. And then also there's the element that you might enjoy running and get those endorphins because you're running with friends. Yeah. Or you're running on your own, but you're clearing the head, and again you're still part of that community because it gets on Strava and blah blah. And I think all of the technology has, and some people hate it and can be old fashioned and say, oh, it's all about the Stravas and the PBs now. It does connect people. Yeah. And through all of that, we've got this huge upward trend in running. And now everybody's running. Well, or people are starting to get into running for the first time at 40, 50, 60. And they're getting behind it, and they're being connected to all these different worlds of people. Yeah. Yeah.
Because running Chicago with you, the amount of like young guys that would shout Schooner, it was pretty cool to see. But do you think you've actually helped young boys, especially, or, adolescent or young men get into running?
I'd like to think so. I do there's a few people that reach out and say I started running, or I took my running a lot more seriously, or you gave me the understanding that, it was fine to better myself in running, knowing that I have this lifestyle. Yeah. Because otherwise, there's a lot of people that would use the excuse of, I'm too busy with work and, I've got too long hours at the desk and I drink too much and I'm networking, I'm doing client lunches, I don't have time. Yeah. And I'd like to say that, the channel will showcase that you can still do it. If you're a good runner and you hone in and you focus when you need to, then it can be done.
Yeah.
So I'd like to think so. Yeah.
Are you proud of Chicago Marathon? You finished with 2:51.
Yeah.
Is there a sub 2:50 in the future?
Yes, sure. Probably.
Do you have any plans for the future of your running?
If the next marathon, I don't know how many more marathons I've got in me, to be honest. It's the next one I would like. The thing is, I say this every time. I'd like to say that I'd train No, I have trained properly because I've used the Runner app, brilliant app. I'd like to do exactly what Runner tells me because I use it all the time. Yeah. Genuinely, I look at my phone. I go for a run today. What does Runner tell me to do? And I'll do something similar. Most of the times I'll do it. I just won't do it at the capacity it tells me to do it if I'm not feeling great. And then it always tells me that my time's slower, and I just press ignore. The amount of times it's updated my pace and told me I'm going to be 10 minutes slow, I just ignore it every time. But I did get what it predicted originally.
Yeah.
It was 2:47 to 2:52.
Yeah.
So I got the end of it, but that was after ignoring everything. But yeah, I've forgotten your question. What was your question?
Well, no, there you go. You've said it on the podcast now.
London Marathon. If I can get a spot in London Marathon, I would do London Marathon. And I wouldn't take that on for granted. I would really focus on the longer runs and the speed sessions and just try and have a great block. I still won't make any like huge sacrifices to make this happen.
Yeah.
Because the reality is as well, if I just start making all these crazy sacrifices, I go to Kenya for fall. That's not real to the majority of the people that consume my content. They're in offices. They have, certain time of annual leave. So if I just start like going on training camps and or just not working, and it's just unrealistic. And I'm not a a running influencer or an influencer. It's like I just want to showcase that I'm just living my life, working, having beers, and I'm finding that time to train enough to run a marathon at an all right time. So I won't make any huge exercises. However, if it's London, I feel like with the buzz, just with another marathon in the legs, 6 months prior, i.e. yesterday, it would carry the confidence, would allow me to hopefully go for sub 250. Yeah. But I mean, it's not going to be anything crazy. I'm not going to start training and get some 240. It'll be 2:49 in London. That'd be great.
No, looking forward to it. And on that note, we will segue over into Coach Steph's coaching tip of the week.
Today is a reminder that your rest days are really important. By having one scheduled in, it holds you accountable to take it. But there might be some days where you just don't feel like it. Be flexible with your training. If you feel like you need to take your rest day a little bit earlier or later than planned, then you can use the feature in the app to shuffle your training around to make sure you can still factor in at a time that feels right for you.
Hey guys, this episode is brought to you by the Runner app, the #1 rated running coaching service worldwide. If you want to try the app today, use code podcast25 for 2 weeks totally for free. And please do remember to rate, follow and subscribe to us on your listening platform to help us climb the rankings and so that we can keep bringing you the most interesting and amazing guests.
Thanks for that, Steph.
Thanks, Steph. It was great. Great tip.
Okay, one sip, one schooner. What is your favourite beer?
Do you know what? It depends. I don't want to give it to them, but Guinness is probably, I know it's technically not a beer, it's a stout, but if we're categorizing it, I do enjoy Guinness, especially in winter. Mm-hmm. And it's good for the session because it's 4%. Mm-hmm. So, it's just enjoyable. If it's like a really hot summer's day, I'm on the beach in Spain, Portugal. There's not Estrella Dam, the red one, which is very popular also in the UK, but there's a beer called Estrella Galicia, which is sort of a black label. It's a little bit stronger, but it's just a very clean, good lager. Okay. With all these IPAs and crafts, they're great to score because there's a lot more to talk about. They're always fruity and hazy, and the hops, there's usually a lot more different hops, and they're great beers. But generally, because I'm often drinking and I'm often on a session, I tend to just enjoy a nice clean lager. I enjoy a Noam as well. It's kind of a Bavarian styles beer. And then, I mean, I mix it up. Honestly, I don't have, but I do drink a lot of that at home. I also drink a lot of low cal, low carb beers at home as well.
Yeah.
So you got some great ones in the UK, Prime Time, in Oz, Better Beer. They're just great because they're low cal, low carb, and yeah.
And what would be the best beer for a beer mile?
100% it would be a low cal, low carb, gluten free beer because it wouldn't blow you.
Can you find me a nice gluten free beer?
Prime Time's good.
Okay.
Prime Time lager. Give you that one, Harvey and Sam.
Okay.
Thank me later. But, because it's just, it's gluten free, and generally it has like a third of the calories, so you do tend to feel better.
Okay.
And it doesn't really lack the taste as well. A lot of low cal, because when you don't put gluten in it, it tends to be a bit sort of, I don't want to say the word watery, but in layman's terms, it would just taste a bit watery and a bit more flat.
Yeah.
But those ones are pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you rather never find the perfect schooner, but every beer is almost perfect, or find the perfect schooner once, but never have a good beer again?
100% the first one. Because then I also like to try a variety of drinks, beers, stouts, ales, whatever. And if they're all brilliant because they're almost perfect, then yeah. Also, if you just find that one perfect one, I know that it's only in a certain location, pub, country even, and I have to just keep drinking there. And I like to explore and go to new places and try all the different beers. So that's the beauty of it. It's like there's so many beers in so many countries and cities and venues to score them in. Yeah. And yeah, I'm sure it exists. I mean, the reality is it's probably going to exist or close is going to be, in sort of Germany or Belgium or Japan.
Yeah. Because
Germans and Belgians really know their drinks and their beers, and Japan, the quality of everything is just incredible. So
okay,
I'll have to go to those.
Keep looking.
Yeah. Keep
okay.
searching.
One has to go. Schooners or running?
Running.
But you could you could still drink other drinks and run.
So Schooner is 45 ml of something. So, but I imagine you mean beers. So you're saying beers or running?
Beers or running.
That genuinely is tough because that is like my life. But I would get rid of running and I'd just be swimming and cycling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if I get rid of beers, what do I score?
And lastly, run a 2:30 marathon, but you can never easy run again. Or you have to easy run forever, no sessions, and you can never PB again.
Well, if you can never easy run again, then I'd never be able to just go for an enjoyable run. And I do feel like my life is more like it's predominantly enjoyable runs and going for easy runs and creating that headspace. So yeah, I'm not really bothered by the times.
Apart from London next year.
Apart from London next year.
And the final closing question we ask all of our guests is to design your dream race. So what is it and where is it? Then what food and drink at the finish line? And then who will present you with your reward? So what is it and where is it?
I think a dream race would be, we have the beer mile, which I'm yet to do, but I've got one coming up. So I'm very excited to give myself a go on that. Am I? Actually, I don't know. If it sounds painful.
Is there pressure there?
Corey Belmore was actually watching Chicago. And I was hoping to catch him for a beer yesterday. He's the world record holder for the beer mile. And it's ridiculous. It's like I don't want to get it wrong, but I think it's like 4:20 something. And like, if you just like, that's running, I can't even run a mile anywhere near that.
Yeah.
I think I'm like 4:50 for a mile. And this guy's chugging 4 beers in that time as well and keeping them down and not spewing. It's incredible. Dream race, I think there would be an element of beer in there. Okay. So I think it would be probably a 5K rather than a mile.
Yeah.
And you drink a beer every kilometre. So it'd be 5 kilometres, 5 beers. And the location. So for me, weather yesterday was perfect. Clear skies, clean air.
Yeah.
And a buzzy city.
Okay.
So if we got London on a day like that,
stunning.
Yeah, but Chicago is perfect. The streets were so wide as well.
Yeah.
It is pretty much a dream running location. But I'll go for, the streets of London. Just because of the weather. I could say some like amazing safari, but the reality is the desert's going to kill you. Beer every mile at probably like a pop-up pub.
And food and drink at the finish line?
Drinks would be beers.
Yeah.
Beers, gluten-free beers for you as well. And well, that's basically what I have after a race, isn't it? And then what did I have yesterday? I had fajitas at the end of yesterday. I mean, that was kind of a good thing to have post race.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't too full. It gave me enough calories to like not pass out, and I wasn't too full for all the beers that followed. So.
And who would present you with your award?
Who would present? Oh, yeah, right. Okay. Well, that was a bit of a weird one that I was thinking about. Matthew McConaughey. What a game. I don't know what I was going to think of some absolute rocket, but I was thinking, Matthew McConaughey. I enjoy his stuff. I'm going to say him.
Yeah, sign me up for
If
it.
I could score a beer with anyone, it'd be Matthew McConaughey.
Interesting.
We'll get there.
Okay, we'll make it happen. Well, thank you so much for chatting to us.
Thanks for having me. It's been fun.
And thank you for running Chicago with me. And hopefully it's not the last one we run together.
Yeah, you can pace me in London now.